Hello, this is Amanda Malabe with BUS312 Principles of Marketing. Today we're going to go over Chapter 8, which is Product, Services, and Brands. Let's just take a quick peek at the expanded model of the marketing process and where we are. So we've gone through Chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is understanding the marketplace and customer needs and wants. We actually did a deeper dive into developing the marketing strategy, all the way to selecting who you're going to target and segment, and then figuring out the 4 Ps and how you're going to decide on how to create that value proposition by making your product different and the way that you position it. Today, in Chapter 8, we're actually going to go into really constructing that integrated marketing program and delivering superior value through designing products and services that meet their needs. And the whole intent of this is, again, to create customer value and profits through customer equity. Today we have 4 objectives. One is to define products and services, to describe the decisions companies make in regarding to product services, product lines, and product mixes, identify the 4 characteristics that affect the marketing of actual services versus products, and then discuss branding strategies. So let's start with what is a product. Well, a product really can be anything. It's something that can be tangible and intangible. It's offered to a market for acquisition, attention, use, and consumption. And again, it's there to satisfy a need or a want. A service is a product that consists of activities, benefits, or satisfactions that's essentially intangible and does not result in ownership of anything. But let's take a quick peek at some examples. So again, products and services can be consumer or industrial related. Broadly defined, products can also include entities such as an experience, an organization, a person, a place, and ideas. All of those things can be products. Furthermore, the way that you differentiate consumer products and industrial products, for the most part, is how you buy them. So, for example, aloha shirts. A consumer is going to go buy an aloha shirt if they go to a store or an online store or even a retail store or anywhere that they could find that shirt that they love. From an industrial products perspective, like Hawaiian Airlines, that they use aloha shirts too, they would actually have a purchasing department that would buy huge amounts of product. And those shirts that they've purchased are usually not readily available to consumers. So again, consumers versus industrial products is usually defined by the way they purchase it differently. So today's example is going to be the Louis Vuitton Hawaiian shirt. And why would anyone pay $1,590 for this particular Hawaiian shirt? So let's take a peek. So when we talk about products, there's actually a couple of attributes around it. One of it is the actual product. And again, the customer and what they value is always in the middle. So how do they feel about that product? The actual product consists of 5 categories: brand name, the quality of that product, the packaging, the design, and the features, everything you can kind of touch. The augmented product is really those things that are after the purchase, augmenting or making that product even better. So it's how you pay for that product, the way that you're supported for that product, the warranty, and how you get service after you purchase that product. So again, taking a look at the Hawaiian shirt, the product is the actual product, the Louis Vuitton Hawaiian shirt that was just promoted over the last week or so. And then what I wanted to talk about again is that customer value being in the middle. So when I was doing research for this particular chapter, what I found was this very interesting correlation to the fact that why are Hawaiian shirts so popular right now, not just in Hawaii, but all over the world, especially so much that Louis Vuitton selling a $1,500 shirt. Well, it has to go back to Kendrick's Hawaiian shirt from the All-Stars video. If you want to take a look at that, go to YouTube. It's a great video, and he has an awesome Hawaiian shirt. And therefore, all of a sudden, Louis Vuitton's whole entire men's um, summer line is all about Hawaii. So why would you purchase a $1,500 Hawaiian shirt? What are you really buying? Well, people who buy this shirt are purchasing much more than a Hawaiian shirt or even the feeling of aloha. What they're purchasing is a brand experience. They are buying entertainment, self-expression, and connectivity. So for example, Drake. Drake is part of this whole entire experience that Louis Vuitton's creating. They actually created their own sort of graphics for this new Hawaiian look. And Drake signed up with Louis Vuitton and they actually played at the Louis Vuitton summer fashion show for the men's line. So again, that brand experience is everything that encompasses it. And that's why people are willing to pay that 1.5 K for that shirt. But let's take a look at some considerations on how consumers purchase products and how you should be marketing for those types of consumer behaviors. So some of the marketing considerations are the customer buying behavior, and I'll let you take a look and do a deeper dive into convenience and shopping, but we're going to focus on today's specialty. So Louis Vuitton is a specialty product, and you would sell it from a specialty standpoint when you have a product that has a strong brand preference and loyalty like Louis Vuitton. It takes a special purchase. You can't just go buy Louis Vuitton anywhere. You could go online, of course, but most people will actually go to the stores, and it's a brick and mortar store. And they're usually in more larger areas or commercial areas. There's little comparison of brands. Yes, there's Gucci and Prada, but Louis Vuitton's got its own style, its own product line, and its own fans. And people who purchase these products, they have really low sensitivity to price. They don't care what the price is going to be. They're going to purchase it anyway. Very similar to high-end Rolexes as well, or even Lennox Crystal. Some other things to consider are price, distribution, and promotions. Again, some of the 4Ps. And when you're actually marketing to a behavior that's a strong brand preference, and they don't care about the price, what you want to make sure that you are marketing to is that exclusive distribution channel. So again, that brick and mortar store, that's hard to get to. You may even not have the product online. The promotions you're going to have are very, very targeted to both the producer and the resellers. And again, some great examples are the Louis Vuitton shirt or luxury watches or fine crystal. So objective 2 is describing the decisions that companies make regarding what products to sell, what product lines they're going to have, and how they're going to mix their product lines. So let's start with individual product decisions. So a company is really going to focus again on creating that core customer value, and there's 5 different steps to it. The first step is really understanding what the product attributes are and how that brings value to that customer. The value of your brand, how packaging is going to enhance that value. You even really go deep into really figuring out what your label is going to look like and your logo, because that all matters. And at the end of the day, your product services are super critical as well, because you don't want to pay for a $1,500 shirt and then not have the services to help you through it if something happens. Again, with our Louis Vuitton shirt example today, this whole focus is about creating that customer value. So we'll take a look at it from a deeper perspective. Let's take a look at product attributes. So from a product attributes perspective, all the marketing that you're going to be doing has to communicate and deliver benefits of that product or service. From a Louis Vuitton perspective, you have to communicate the color, the feel, what it is going to be like when you actually wear it. So the quality has to come across, the features have to come across. So does the style and design. Therefore, we have this amazing picture of the new Louis Vuitton red shirt or red Hawaiian shirt. And how they communicate that is using Instagram of their summer collection. So they did a really, really great job of that. Another way to really communicate your product features is by having a competitive tool that differentiates your products from other competitors and assessing them based off of customer value versus the cost to the company. A lot of companies use their website. So in this case, Louis Vuitton obviously has an amazing website. And then in the detailed features section, they really, really use targeted keywords to make sure that everything about the product features comes across. First and foremost, they're telling you that it's a very expensive material that's being used. It also uses things like made in Italy to have a higher perception of quality. So again, product attributes and benefits are going to differentiate and make you the one that the customer chooses. Other product attributes that you always want to be communicating is style, how it's described, and the appearance of the product. And again, you can do that through pictures. And good design, how it's actually useful and how it makes you look and feel. So let's take a deeper dive into what Louis Vuitton did. Well, Louis Vuitton actually did something very interesting, and this is actually taken from their online store. Let's take a look at the description that they have, and it's a very, very tight description. And it says, it's featuring a Hawaiian-styled, multicolored striped lilies printed in reference to the season's island hopping theme. This fluid piece has a relaxed, loose fit. The front gets an outdoor twist with the collection's new Louis Vuitton rainbow logo. So all of that's talking about how it's about island hopping, how it's fluid. All these words are all about getting your visual aligned with the words and the product that's on the internet or at the store. And what's most interesting is that they went above and beyond in regards to design and style, and actually for this collection even created a rainbow colored Hawaiian inspired Louis Vuitton logo, which I think is absolutely fascinating. They even went a step further. Again, the brand is so powerful that whether it's Nike or Louis Vuitton, the brand sometimes can sell itself. And the way that they communicated the brand was through blogging to reinforce the exclusivity of their brand. So in this particular case, this blogger actually talked about the summer fashion show. And what they said was that there is a savage return of Louis Vuitton logo mania. So Louis Vuitton is becoming really, really hot again. And they used Instagram again through this influencer. And again, that brand comes across through the words on blogs, and it's only reinforcing the fact that they're selling Hawaiian inspired $1,500 shirts, along with great accessories that are all Louis Vuitton logo focused. Packaging is so, so critical, just as much as the label. Everybody that's going to have a Louis Vuitton shirt obviously will have the LVs on it somewhere that designates that that's a Louis Vuitton. But people who go to the store or even receive it at their home are also going to get great packaging. There's a lot of excitement about opening up a really expensive product line. It's so popular, in fact, that I was actually able to find people that are reselling their Louis Vuitton boxes. So if you want a Louis Vuitton box for whatever reason, you can buy one for $28 on eBay. So again, packaging and labeling super critical, and Louis Vuitton got it right, so much so that people are willing to purchase it secondhand. Support services are obviously very, very critical. And again, support services augment the product. There's something after you've purchased it. So in this particular case, Louis Vuitton says that their support services are actually a journey, purchasing the product is just the first step. The journey of getting superior customer service also starts with how they interact with you, so that you can call them and email them, or you can have product care information online, or FAQs, or self-help. So many different ways that you'll be supported after the fact. So now that Louis Vuitton's figured out what they're going to sell from a Hawaiian shirt perspective, the logo, the packaging, the way that they're going to service you, they also have to figure out, well, how does this product fit in with their overall product mix decisions? So let's take a look at product lines. Product lines are similar functions, consumer groups, or outlets that raise and increase sales for a specific product line. So in this particular case, a product line, or its product width, is a number of different product lines that a company carries. So in this particular case, Louis Vuitton carries many product lines. They carry summer collections, they carry bags, leather goods, travel gear, accessories, ready-to-wear shoes, timepieces, books and writing, and even personalization services. They also can lengthen their product line, meaning the total number of items that a company carries. In this interesting perspective, they actually just launched this new home decor, timeless pieces, and even ping pong balls and a ping pong paddle. I know that I have a lot of people that would love a Louis Vuitton ping pong ball and paddle, potentially even for Christmas. So from that perspective, it's thousands and thousands of different product lines that Louis Vuitton can go into. And I didn't count them all, but again, thousands that they can go into to increase their sales. So those are two ways: by product mix width, and then by product mix length. The third way is to adding more versions of a particular product, and that means depth, going in a little bit deeper. So in this particular case, we have the Louis Vuitton shirts in 3 different colors. And what that does is it increases consistency. You can also decrease consistency, but increasing is best. And that's basically how you use your product lines for production requirements, or even distribution channels, so you get economies of scale. And that's always a great thing to have. So objective number 3 is identifying the 4 characteristics that affect marketing of services and the considerations around that. So services are super critical, again, and services can be government services, private, non-for-profit organizations, or even business organizations. The interesting thing about services is that 80% of the US GDP is made up of services. So it's everything that it's an experience, a person, anything that's after the fact. It doesn't necessarily have to be tangible. As a matter of fact, services are 60% of the world GDP. It's one of the fastest growing industries. Here in Hawaii, our services guiding people all around our Oahu Island is also a service, and it's always growing. So that's another example. So once you're a marketer, not only do you have to market products, but you also have to be able to market services. So let's take a look at the 4 service characteristics. So services can be intangible, services that can't be seen, tasted, heard, or smelled before the purchase. So it could be like a warranty. And separability is a service that cannot be separated from their providers. So if you buy a Dell computer and you get Dell services, you can't go and take your Dell computer and get it fixed at Apple, for example. So there's inseparability. You can't separate it. And again, if there's any targets on any of the pages, be specifically vigilant about these specific topics, because they will be showing up in the exams. There's also variability. The variability can be something like a service that really depends on who provides it, when and where, and how. So for example, you could get a haircut, and that service is actually a person providing a haircut. So it's not necessarily a product. So from that standpoint, whoever cuts your hair is going to depend on how good you look. So there's a variable aspect to who, when, and where your service is provided. Then there's services that are perishable that cannot be stored for later use. Some of those things could be like services that have limited warranties, or even for data usages for cell phones. Again, these are all four types of services that you can provide, and that give special characteristics and considerations on how you're actually going to market it. So now that we know that services are just as popular, or even growing more than products are, let's take a look at the service profit chain. Because again, the way that we market it is really specific to that service, and how the firm uses that service in conjunction with employees to provide a particular brand of customer satisfaction. Because again, services aren't necessarily tangible. There's things that are actually given from one person to the other through either a haircut, through warranty, through something that is not necessarily something that you're going to be taking home. So it's a lot of interaction. A couple of ways to do that is through internal marketing and interactive marketing. So again, marketing services is about the service profit chain, which brings value through the way that employees and customers interact to build value for that end user. So taking a look at a little bit more about the service profit chain, there's actually four ways to measure that, or four ways to market that. One is through the service of quality you have, like Mercedes or Louis Vuitton. They're going to always market how great their services are and how well they're going to serve you after you purchase a product. They're going to really market how they satisfy and service employees, so that you know that if they service their employees well and train them well, that you can count on them for great service after you purchase the product. They're going to say that they provide better and greater service to you. They're going to talk about how well they satisfy their loyal customers. And the end all be all key performance indicator of a great marketing plan that targets his services is that their services and products have a really good and healthy profit and growth model. So they're growing because they provide such exceptional after the fact services. So let's take a look at Louis Vuitton and how these all kind of interplay together. Again, services must be sold between the interaction of employees and customers, and the whole intent is to delight that customer. One of the ways to do that is through external marketing. And again, external marketing can be things like Instagram. And then from there, companies and customers are interacting. There's another way to interact, which is between customers and employees. And here we see the model that the Louis Vuitton customer service advocate is there really servicing that customer and making them feel like they're part of that product and making sure that they're happy. Another way that marketing would do that, the marketing of their services, is by using apps like Glassdoor. So when we look up Louis Vuitton employee training, we see that Glassdoor has great reviews of how Louis Vuitton really creates a great working environment and great training program. So again, they use social media, whether it's internal marketing, like Glassdoor, external marketing like Instagram or Facebook, or face-to-face marketing, which is the employees and customers interacting together. So now we're at our last objective, which is, well, let's discuss how you actually implement some of these branding strategies to manage and build their brands? Well, the most important strategy is the brand strategy and building really strong brands. Again, brand equity is knowing that the brand has a response to your product and its marketing. And brand value is the total financial value of that brand. So let's take a look at Louis Vuitton. Well, Louis Vuitton is the second most valuable brand in the world in regards to fashion. It's got a $23.9 billion a year brand value. Nike has 25 billion. So from a overall fashion standpoint, Louis Vuitton has done a great job at marketing their products as well as their services to create brand value, which again creates brand equity. So strong brands usually have four main characteristics. They have really good brand positioning, they have a brand name selection, they have really strong brand sponsorships, and have really deep and long brand development lines. So let's take a look at each. So marketers, again, can position their brands um, at three levels. One of them being attributes, benefits, beliefs, and values. So again, when you see the Louis Vuitton brand, we do attribute that brand because of all the marketing that's out there, that it's high quality, and our values and beliefs for the most part, and I'm not saying it's everyone, is that that brand is luxurious, it's higher end, and I'm going to get a great customer experience when I go in the store, whether I buy online or whether I return my product at the end. So that's what is assumed by all the marketing that that company has done. So brand name selection, again, is super critical. So if you're starting off with a new product, you just need to make sure that your brand says something about your quality, that it's easy to pronounce and recognize, that it's distinctive, extendable, translatable from a global perspective, and capable of being registered. So you don't ever want to steal anybody else's brand name. So again, Louis Vuitton, it's French, and I don't feel that that is by accident, because French lines, just like French perfumes, have that mystique about having that name that then registers in our brains or black boxes to equate to luxury. Another brand strategy is by having brand sponsorships. Private brands like Target or Walmart sometimes have private brands. You can license your brand and co-brand them. So I'm not going to go into a deep dive into this, but it is a strategy that's very, very successful, especially at the storefront like Walmart, Kroger's, or Costco, where they create their own brands or have brand sponsorships where they give their brand names to others to use. However, you will need to know how the brand strategy works with brand names in general. So please make sure you understand how to use this brand development strategy matrix. On this side, we have the brand name. On this side, we have the brand category. So what you would do from a strategy perspective is based off if you have an existing name or a new name, and if you have an existing product category or a new product category. So from that standpoint, when you have a branding that is existing, like Nike, and you have an existing category like tennis shoes, you would actually use line extension. And so that is usually with new colors or sizes or even ingredients or flavors if you're an actual, like a food brand. Brand extensions are using the current name and getting new or modified products in a new category. So this would be, for example, Procter and Gamble, that they have a Mr. Clean, and from a Mr. Clean perspective, then they launch 3 or 4 different new brand names or product lines. So you have a new product category with the existing name. There's multi-brands, which is when companies have many different brands in a given product category. So for example, Pepsi. Pepsi actually sells many types of soft drinks, and they have different names, everything from Sierra Mist to Pepsi to root beer. So that would be multi-brands. They have new names, but they're an existing category like soda. And then you got new brands where you have a new name and a new category. So you would want to make sure that you aren't necessarily throwing out the brand name. And usually companies that really believe that the power of its existing brand name is maybe not so strong, so they'll actually launch a new name if needed. So that's another strategy. So that's it for chapter 8. And I hope that you enjoyed it and really figured out how you can use a product or services to market your specific customer experience to create value, and then different strategies to use when you are in those specific marketing roles. Mahalo until the next chapter.